Hey, thanks for clicking on this channel when it's all about seeing something for the first time and seeing something I've never seen in over 40 years of going to concerts. Alright, we're talking about Oasis. They finally come to North America. Oasis, of course, was formed in 1991 in Manchester. They had a good run from 91 to 2009. Some shaky times in there, of course. People leaving the band. The brothers are always fighting. And and early on, rock purists didn't like them because they said, oh, we might be bigger than the Beatles or something like that. I like that English cheeky humor and the attitude that they gave the press when they're doing interviews. Some people did it. I always found them to be pretty interesting and entertaining, and I kind of missed the boat on seeing them on any of their tours. And so yeah, with the brothers always fighting, it just seemed like Oasis is never going to do anything. It's been what 15 years or so, and arguments seemed to stem from Liam wanted to sell some clothing line of his on one of the final tours, and Noel was like, not having that crap. That's bollocks. But you never know. The two brothers, you know, they're going to hate each other because they're related. Don't we all hate our relatives? Then all of a sudden, Noel was like, well, Liam's talking about you, and he just needs to shut up and tell me what he wants to do. And the two guys got back together. 2024, they announced the 2025 tour. Now, the sad thing was, they're only going to do a handful of shows in North America. They're just going to do Toronto, Mexico City, and then 3 shows in the United States. West Coast, East Coast, and then Chicago, baby. A few stops away from me on the train is Chicago. So in October 2024, I get my ticket. Of course, I asked my wife, do you want to go? And she's like, I'm like, that's a no. I'm getting one single ticket. I have a good shot of getting one single ticket. Paid face value. Was only $188. Got to be happy with that. Resale value for these tickets, especially in this section, I saw sold for up around $600 or so. Listing prices were crazy. People were just listing crazy. Now, actually, on the day of, because sometimes you want to play the long game, you got to wait till the day of. Prices didn't really drop that much. Every once in a while someone would throw a ticket on for like around list price and they would get swooped up really fast. So yeah, sometimes it pays to wait. However, Oasis, that was a hot ticket with only doing 3 locations in the United States. 2 shows for the East Coast, 2 shows for the West Coast, only 1 show Chicago because I think Soldier Field has some scheduling things. Yeah, it's going to be a hard ticket to come by. Holy moly. We're talking about a band that has 7 platinum records. You know, all 7 of their studio albums have gone platinum, one form or another. They've got compilations. So let's go to the day of the show. I'm standing there like a putz waiting for the little choo-choo train to take me. After work, got cleaned up, got on the train. Always a beautiful ride into the city. And then in Union Station, where they drop you off, you get to look at the Sears Tower. You may call it the Willis Tower. No one else does. It's always been the Sears Tower. And of course that, you know, public transportation, for those of us lucky, you know, I live steps away from the choo-choo. You save on parking. Parking could be $40 at the cheapest around there and more. It's crazy. Walking to the football field, as we'll call it, all kinds of interesting things. And I saw something that I've never seen in over 40 years of going to rock concerts. Never seen. What was it? I'll tell you right now. It was a federal marshal walking around, I think with a stadium security, one person. He had trash bags. He just confiscated bootleg t-shirts. I've never seen anyone confiscate bootleg t-shirts. It's like somebody coming down here and confiscating illegally taped music, you know? Who does that? But it was crazy. And I was talking to one of the person that was selling. He goes, man, I just sold a few, but I think I sold enough that I recouped what I got. And then he was just selling drinks and chips and stuff like that. But yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen that. I've seen bootleg t-shirts. I've bought bootleg t-shirts because, you know, usual price is crazy. Of course, that's when we get there, looking at the merch booth. I don't need another $45 t-shirt. They did have a cool poster of the concert. I think one was $25. It was like general tour dates, black and white, I think. But then one specific to Chicago, I think it was $60 or $65. And of course, I'm like, I bet you these are already on eBay. I just got into the place. I'll bet you they're already on eBay. Boom, 2 sold. So yeah, that's the world we live in. Overpriced merch and overpriced food. I checked out the stage a little closer. Just wanted to see. I didn't think there was going to be much of a stage show. They're kind of not plain, but I know it's just going to be pretty much a band and then screens behind them. Grabbed $20 worth of food. Oh, what's $20 worth of food? Did you have a feast there, Brian? No, I had nachos and a Dr. Pepper. So I sat with my nachos, waiting for the big show. I was in section 220, front row. You gotta like front row because the odds of having jerks in front of you is nil. There's no one in front of you. So you get jerks to the side and to the back of you at the shows. Joined by nachos. Never, I had a rough emotional day at work. So what put me in the mood is the nachos and the Doors, Tell All the People. I forgot how great that song is. It was just ready to rock and roll. First band on, Cage the Elephant. They formed in 2006 in Kentucky, and I believe they moved over to the UK to get signed and more attention and all that. They're one of these like alternative pop rock or pop rock, I don't know, newer pop rock. And I actually knew about 4 of their songs because you just hear them. I don't know if I heard them when I was in line at a Starbucks or at some, I don't know, store to buy blue jeans. I don't know where you hear that crap, but it was all right. The front man puts a great effort to do a performance for you. The group is all right. It just holds my theory. Whenever I see guitar players playing up here, the little strap, and they're playing up here, I usually don't like the bands very much who do that. I don't know. If you're going to rock out, you got to hang it low. Like the Ramones, you got to hang it low and jam a little bit. I did like the first song was a little more up-tempo, but then, yeah, just to me, it got a little boring. I knew that Ooh Ooh song that they did. Or whatever the hell that was. Did I hate them? No. Did I really like them? Nah. It was just meh. It's probably a band that if I saw their used CDs for like $1, I would pick up to check out, but yeah. But hey, I wasn't there for them. I was here for Oasis. You're just waiting forever, right? The show finally comes. You're like, okay, unless the brothers argued backstage, they should be coming out. And they come out, and of course they hit you with all the tabloids and stuff like that, and it's a great little intro they do, and they come out. But before we get into the show, I'd like to talk about Oasis and how I came to know them. I've never seen them live, like I said before. The only thing I did was in 2019, I saw Noel with his Flying Birds, and I have a little Flying Birds, a High Flying Bird album here. And I saw them play after AFI, but before the Smashing Pumpkins. So they opened up for Smashing Pumpkins, and that was fun. I think at the end he did a few Oasis kind of jams and stuff, but it just didn't seem the same. So I really wanted to see Oasis proper. And how I discovered them, I was in a band and we were on the road, and it was spring, summer of ~96. I remember we were playing a in-store appearance in California, Southern California, and we got to the show, and then we got there early so we could go back to the store owners or someone who worked at the store's house, and they had Oasis CD at the store. So I bought it and brought it back to the house to put it in the CD player. CD player, what's that? It's where you play CDs. And I put it on, and it was good. I was sitting on this pleather couch. I think they had a pool, and I'd just gone swimming. Sitting on a pleather couch, and I really liked the song. I'm like, this band, I've heard Oasis, and the punk rock people there, they suck, but I kind of like it. It's a kind of contrast of all the stuff I've been hearing at the time. Lots of punk rock. I needed to chill out with some Oasis. And I'll never forget, the CD just keeps going, and the last song, Champagne Supernova, I could not get enough of. I must have played that thing 5 or 6 times in a row, hitting a little changer thing there. And I'm like, this is a masterpiece of a freaking song. So then I went back and just listened to the whole CD throughout the tour. Whenever what house we were staying at would have a CD player, I'd crack that baby in there. And I just loved it. And from there, of course, I went back and got their first album. They have 7 studio albums, and I have 6 of them. Or do I have 5 of them? Yeah, I have all but Don't Believe the Truth. And I'll probably pick it up used. But really, that's not that important if you're going to see this show, because they're only really going to feature a few of their albums. They're not going to play anything from Standing on the Shoulders of Giants or Dig Out Your Soul and Don't Believe the Truth. They're not playing anything from that. But anyway, I got that CD. I got this one here, which is Be Here Now, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. I also have that on vinyl. picked it up. I do want to get some other more stuff on vinyl because I'm a vinyl collector, as they say. This is what the Heathens one, Heathen Chemistry, that one. Dig Out Your Soul, it's their last one, and yeah, you're not gonna hear anything from that on the tour. There, Masterpiece was a great compilation, B-sides and all that. Yeah, I got a Liam solo album. It just didn't grab me like the Oasis stuff. Same thing with Noel. Good, but doesn't. They need to be together to make the music that's really gonna grab you and stick with you, and you're gonna be like, that's great stuff. And of course, What's the Story, Morning Glory, I had to get when it was repressed on vinyl. Had to get this on vinyl. Such a great album, and they're gonna play almost every. Pretty much all the singles that were released off of this, and they're going to play track after track. I think 8 of the 12 songs on this they're going to play. So if you're a big fan, or if you're just kind of Oasis fan, but you just love this one album from them, I'd say still go to this show if you can grab a ticket. Speaking about the show, let's look at the set list. They come out with Hello, of course. You know, it's a no-brainer to come out with. Oh, I also have the 7-inch. Pow! Vinyl collector. Some might say 7-inch. But yeah, they come out with Hello. That's a good one. You realize, yeah, the stage is pretty much just 3 big screens and a band. It's not going to be like seeing Iron Maiden. You're not going to see any inflatables or pyro or anything weird. There's no like 2 stages where they go off and they do acoustic on a smaller stage. It's none of that. You just get to one stage. It's kind of plain, but because of the screen, especially for me sitting back a soldier field, a football field away from the stage, it's nice to have the big screens. And I did find myself maybe 80% watching the screens as opposed to the stage. But more about that later. So we get to the, oh, and of course the band is the brothers. Liam is now 52 and Noel who's 58. So everyone's getting up there. Thank God they reunited, because you don't want to wait till these people are like 77 and, hey, let's get Oasis back together. You know, they still can kind of play and sing well. And Liam sounded great. I've heard critique sometimes with this solo tours. People said, oh, he was a little off or not as good. But yeah, he sounded great here. So yeah, they come out and Hello and Acquaintance, I don't know the song, Morning Glory. I was just kicked back for the first 3 songs. It was really nice. Some Might Say was the 4th track. Bonehead on guitar sounded really good on all the songs. Of course, also with Jem Archer and Andy Bell, who've served with the brothers and in Oasis in one form or another. They're joining in them. So it's a part. All the musicianship is fantastic. Then you go to Bring It On Down, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Fade Away, Supersonic. The band seemed to be in good spirits. They're not known for being really smiley. Liam did talk in between songs. Hell if I know what the heck he was saying.
Nice little corner right now. Did you hear any weird accents and shit coming out of that pocket out of Scouses? Come on, CCTV,
and again, you find yourself looking at the screens. I'm sure if you had really good seats and you were in kind of like the not general admission, but the floor area, which seemed to be split in 2. If you're in the front, you're probably watching the stage more. But yeah, I think the majority of us would just watch those big screens. What I say, Supersonic, roll with it. It's starting feeling good. The crowd was just jumpy. Chicago has a long history of having great crowds. Although I was talking to people in line and hanging out, a lot of people were coming. Someone was from Florida, I believe someone Puerto Rico, and it was a good mix of crowd. But oddly enough, as like a amateur sociologist, I've seen bands that'll bring in every walk of life. Oasis, middle-aged white guys is pretty much going to be the majority. I don't think I saw a brother in a whole crowd. I saw him working there, but I didn't see a brother in a whole crowd. Like when I saw AC/DC, you saw everyone. But yeah, Oasis, I don't know if their music is too like vanilla for some people, but yeah, it's a pretty white crowd. But it was a good crowd. They were jumping all around, so it was a good crowd. I just bring it up because I like that stuff. I'm an amateur. So I'm just going to call myself a professional. I'm a professional sociologist. I don't even know if that's the right category for sociologist. I know it's not psychologist. Observer. A public observer. A public observer. I'm just observing. Music's for everyone. Anyway, talk tonight. Half the World Away, dedicated to the Irish people. I have some Irish blood in me, so thanks guys. Half the World Away. I felt like I was half the world away because I had my seats. But yeah, 188 bucks. I'm not paying $600-700 to get up close. No way. And could I have snuck up close? I was thinking about it because there was some aisles that the security person, I think you had to have a wristband, but you just put, especially when you're older, people think you're just honest because you're older. So you just put up your arm real quick. Oh, you must have had a wristband. But yeah, some guys weren't paying attention. I thought about it, but then I'm like, I kind of like sitting down. I do like sitting down. And I had the front row. So I put my little Dr. Pepper there and just watch. Although one of the annoying thing was, it's the guy to my left. He was swaying. Whatever, I don't care. But I noticed like after beer number 5 or 6, his sways were more exaggerated. So I was like, oh great, sweaty elbow on me. Oh great, sweaty elbow on me. Oh great, sweaty elbow on me. And I'm, come on, dude, give me my little airplane seat amount of space. Can I just have my little airplane seat amount of space? Por favor. Stand by me, little by little, half the world away. Yeah, like I said, little by little. Do you know what I mean? Stand by me. There's a part of the set list where Noel sings, song after song, and he sounded really good. Cast No Shadow. Good thing was the PA, at least here in Chicago, hopefully all the other stops, the PA was loud, so it was actually really loud. It was a good loud show, and it's loud enough to drown out those singing. You love to sing along, but majority of people sing along aren't singers, so they're off key and it's annoying. So PA was loud enough to drown those people out. Thank the Lord or Thor, whoever you pray to, doesn't matter to me. Slide away, whatever, live forever. And you start to realize, oh, we're getting toward the end here. We're getting towards the end. It's a 2-hour show, and we are getting towards the end because they're pulling out the monster hits here. Rock and Roll Star completes the set. So if you're one of those that like to get to your car early, I would suggest not. Just take off work the next day. But if you want to get the hell out early, you could leave after Rock and Roll Star and you miss the encore, which I wouldn't suggest, but I feel you. I do that sometimes. The encore, they only go off stage maybe like 2 minutes, so it's not one of these long, prolonged rock star encore BS kind of things. They're just probably going off, get a little drink, a little oxygen, a little towel of sweat off there, come back. The master plan. And then you realize they had some horn people. And for me, I just see the band, and then there's other people. There's like a keyboard player there. I think there was another auxiliary singer. But yeah, they had like a horn section. And then they do Don't Look Back in Anger, which is funny because for years those two brothers, that's all they had was anger and looking back at each other. So yeah, finally taking their own advice and lyrics there. Don't look back in anger. Sometimes you let the crowd sing, and it's a good example of just sing it yourself. Just sing it yourself. Paying a lot of money. Everyone's paying a lot of money. Just sing the song yourself. Wonderwall. Yeah, that's a big song that everyone was kind of introduced to them. That's the first I was kind of hearing about them. And then they close, of course, with the big song. And the song that made me a big Oasis fan way back from '96 when I was listening on a pleather couch, toweled off from swimming on a punk rock tour. Champagne Supernova. Is that not just perfection? It was a beautiful, I think it was like 65 degrees out. You have the partial Chicago skyline behind you. It's one of those magic moments. And you're like, this is perfect. I am just in Zen. World peace goes through my soul. I'm just, rock and roll is the best art form ever. Like I said, a million videos here, and nothing is gonna ruin this high. This is perfect. Crap, I have to walk back a half hour to the train station. Oh man. Now the walk there only took me 35 minutes, and I could make it back in 34 minutes. I could make the 11:33 train home, which would have been really nice to be home at midnight. But no, because of drunks and slow walkers. I'm a fast walker. We should have our own lane. You know, like the wheelchair has their own lane, or carpool has their own lane. Put in a fast walker's lane. I'm on a fast walker lane. But no, I had to be behind drunks. And notice, if you were wearing those stupid hats, what do they call it? Bucket hat. A bucket hat, that's it. Those stupid bucket hats. I noticed tendency was that you were more drunk and you were more annoying, you were more slow. So it slowed me down. Didn't make it. Walk back sucked. And I had to take the 12:33 train home and got home at 1. You don't care about that stuff. But anyway, it was a good stage. Like I said, the drawback maybe this concert, if you do get seats far away, you are going to be watching the screens. And the stage isn't that lit that well either. It's kind of like they're making you watch the screens, because that's bright screens and then the stage isn't. But the sound was good. The brothers are, I don't know, top form. I've never seen them before, but they sounded great. And it's live rock and roll. I didn't hear any tracks or anything played over, so thank God for live rock. Thank God rock and roll still exists, where they're showing people real music and not everything shaking of pre-performed tracks and BS. So it's a good rock and roll show. If you have a chance to get a ticket, get yourself a ticket. Go see this band. Will they stay around? I don't know. Maybe they'll do another album or a tour. I don't know. I don't know the brothers personally, but I do know that sometimes they really don't like each other, and it takes over a decade for them to like each other again. So yeah, I play it safe. See them now. Hope you liked the review. And if you're looking for a whole show, there's tons of people that have filmed the whole show in 4K just sitting there in the front row. Good for them. So watch that. But hope you liked the review. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, they don't do paper tickets anymore. That's one of my pet peeves. So I have to print off a ticket, right, and then put it on like photo paper at like the Walgreens or something. And that's what I think I'm going to do with a poster. I'm not paying $60 or eBay prices for a poster. I'm just going to right-click save the image of the poster and like print off an 8x10 of the poster or something.